2015. That's a good one. You have to hustle. You have to hustle. You shouldn't tell this one anybody. Oh my God.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Icey's Fantasy. I'm Icey, and today, as I promised in my last channel, we will have a big guest to my channel. He's my husband, and let's welcome him.
Hello, hi everyone.
So,
Hi.
I'm Icey.
And I'm Phori.
Today, this video is about how to find a job as a foreigner in China. Before we start this, I have a small thing so that we can eat. It's called sunflower flower pastry. I think we can start it with your experience in China because you study here. Maybe you can introduce a little bit how you are so lucky to get a job and get a working visa.
I came in China in 2015, so I landed here in Shanghai where I'm currently living now. I had to travel to Hangzhou to do my bachelor degree, which means I graduated in 2019 and I already have my job offer here in Shanghai.
So what do you think what's the key of you get the job offer right after education?
Mostly I was really professional into what I was going to do. I was gonna graduate in June and then I get my job offer in March or April if I remember. That's like 2 months earlier before my graduation.
Before you find the job in Shanghai, did you try to find a job in Hangzhou?
Yeah, that's a good one. If you are in Hangzhou, they have their own regulation. So if you are in Shanghai, they have also their own regulation. So I would say I did try to look some jobs in Hangzhou and I did have a lot of interviews. My process in Hangzhou looking for the job, I already found one job that I really like, and they offer me a good offer which I was happy with. But during the process of knowing like how to get a visa, sometimes they don't really understand because things change day by day. So yeah, I did not get the work permit when I was in Hangzhou. Don't be comfortable in one city.
And if we are going to recommend some city, maybe you can look for a job, as you guys all know, like Beijing, Shanghai, and
Shenzhen now it's pretty good.
I remember your company, they opened a branch.
Yeah, even the company I'm working in, they also opened a branch in Shenzhen.
Which means you can switch to Shenzhen maybe one day.
Yeah, if I would like to live in Shenzhen.
And we will get apart.
No, definitely I won't go far from you. Yeah.
So far, what is the most difficulty part for you to find a job, or maybe during the time when what's your challenge like during your working experience in China?
Oh my God. I would say like the first big challenge is to speak the local language. If you don't speak Chinese, if you just totally like your mouth closed, I don't really feel
but
like.
I think it depends in cities as well, because if in Hangzhou you're not able to speak English, it's maybe not okay. But in Shanghai, there are a lot of places, Chinese, they know how to speak English.
Okay, let me point about that. So never lie to yourself that big cities like means Chinese people speak English. So I work in a company where my colleagues are all Chinese and nobody speaks English. So remember that. So don't lie to yourself. Be living like a local. You should speak their local language. It's a must.
Maybe you are not working in a foreign company, and when you work in which type of company you work, a Chinese company or a foreign company, as long as you know their language, like your work limitation will not be that much tight. Like when you can communicate with Chinese, maybe some of your project like it's like local project, you can directly talk to the clients. But
so for me, in my case, it's a little bit different. So because all my colleagues does not speak English. However, we do have sometimes some international project. So if you are doing some international project, that's why they have me, because I'm not working for international company. So if it was like you who work for international company, then that's fine. You only need to speak English, right? So the second challenge would be like not every Chinese it's welcome a black person.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There would be some Chinese who are not really well educated about the what's going on around the world. However, that cannot limit you. You always need to get yourself out there and try your things. Speaking Chinese still does not mean everything.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. So because I did call some companies, and then I'm like, when you have 我这边看到你们公司有工作，然后他们就是问我有什么时候有空你会来做面试， and then I just make some appointment. When I arrive there, 你好，like are you the one looking for a job? Just we're talking Chinese, and then they're like, oh, 不好意思，我们公司不给外国人工作 ，just like that. So I call another company, the similar things happen, and then later on, I had to change my mind to feel like, now, before I go to the interview, let me call them first and tell them I'm a foreigner.
Yeah.
So once I arrived there, and they already know it's a foreigner, but I don't think they were expecting a black person. So it's like, finding a job is hard, and then you find a job, it's not over yet, it's still hard. So now you have that part of the government. So the government, they have like a certain requirement. So you need to fulfill some requirement to be qualified for the work permit. Luckily, the company which like were hoping to hire me, they did process everything for me.
Okay, and I have one thing I want to know. Before you come to China, you already started to work in your own country as well.
Yeah.
Just like very short time. So what's the difference between you work in your own country, maybe in Africa, and the experience you work in China?
First of all, I'm from Rwanda. So the difference between Rwanda and China, it's really huge. It's something big. Working condition of a Chinese, mostly we know them when we are back home because we know that they work really overtime. And that thing, it's real. So
in China, we have a way called 996. You work from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. and work for 6 days. Usually that's our routine.
In my case, and I also do work overtime, and even my company does not pay for the overtime, which is not a good thing, you know. So
yeah, for me, I work in a foreign company, and we don't have this issue. But because you work in a Chinese company, you even experience more Chinese life.
I'm experiencing more than she is experiencing. You have to hustle. You have to hustle. It is how it is. Except working overtime. So I would say like during the part of my work experience. So just imagine you are in a country which got like almost every resources you need to complete your work.
You mean like a fast network like that?
Yeah, like a fast network. You got many resources. However, you would be confused because many things would be in Chinese or whatever. But once you get used to use Chinese platform, then you're gonna make it.
Which kind of like platform will you use when you looking for a job in China? Do you have any recommendation?
I don't quite remember because it was just like a local Hangzhou platform. I think they have housing, they have jobs, second hand.
可能是58同城。
It's not Uber. But however, Uber is mostly used all over China. And there is another one called Boss, if I remember. You can always try even those one which is being used nationwide, like a 58 and then or Boss app. you may be targeting like the very high standard companies as well. So you can always targeting LinkedIn.
So in China, you can also use LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, you can always use
You
LinkedIn.
need the VPN.
Another things you can do in my situation now, since I'm being now into my work for a very long time, so I'm now familiar with our competitors. I can just search their website, their official website. Some people, like I'm working, so if we are hiring, I can always recommend someone to my boss.
So sometimes it's also important, maybe when you're in another country and you have some
Friends.
Friends group, like you are from the same place, and maybe like you can share some information in your own circle.
Yeah, like some WeChat group which offer like some jobs opportunity. Yeah, you always also can have that kind of opportunity in there. And also a friend can recommend you. As I was saying, like if I recommend you into the company I'm working, there is like a high percentage that you can be accepted.
Yeah, I think this way is also very useful.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last question is, for any foreigners who are out of China or they are studying in China or whatever, as long as they want to come to China to get a job, which kind of advice you will give to them?
The advice I would say to give to the people, maybe let's say those one who are already studying here in China, I would just say like try to get some experience. I know this is kind of tricky, so you can have your personal experience, train yourself and get better
While you are still in school.
when you are still in school. So just make sure you don't wanna graduate knowing nothing. Second, I know it's legal, but you can still always try, you know. But don't say this. You shouldn't tell this one anybody. Try your best to get some practice, some professional practice. Just be cautious about this one. It's
Yeah, one of my friends in their company, there are 3 foreign students. They're still in school, but they found the job during the job fair in their school. They get paid very less, but that company, when they hire this kind of students, the company can get some money from the government.
And anyway, come on. If you're a student, really, to be honest with you, in China, most of the people are looking for English teaching.
So, is English teacher can be a good opportunity as a foreigner when you want to find a job in China? I think maybe it's like two situation when you are from which country.
And I would say like for English teaching jobs, from my side, it's never worked. It's also helped me to get my professional job. It always depends like what is your nationality. You are black, but if you're coming from America, you're coming from Britain, you are most preferred.
The competition of being an English teacher is also a little bit not as easy as before. And now some of them, they might require some education certification as well. But it all depends on different schools. I think that's pretty much all for this video. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy this video, and please subscribe and give a thumb up to our channel, and hope to see you guys soon.
Okay.